Welcome to Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC podcast, the show where we explore the cool, the hot, and the everything in between of the HVACR industry. Each week, we dig into the innovations, the insights, and the inspiring stories that power our trade, from the classroom to the job site and beyond. This episode is brought to you by this week's amazing sponsors: Daikin Comfort Technology, perfecting the air since 1924. Lincoln Tech, put your potential to work. NAVAC, professional tools and equipment for HVACR technicians. Amatral Trainers, globally impactful, personally empowering. As well as AGAS, together we can. Whether you're just getting started or you've been turning wrenches for decades like myself, there's always something new for us to learn. I'm Clifton Beck, and this is Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC podcast. Let's dive in. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us on Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC podcast. So today we're spending some time with Ketan Joshi, product manager for the residential controls and digital solutions at Bosch Home Comfort. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Clifton. Thank you for having me here.
I'm grateful to spend time with you. You know, we have so many changes going on in our industry. I'm very grateful to be able to spend time with our equipment manufacturers and the engineers and technical trainers to help alleviate some of the tension that our educators and our contractors have, because sometimes they're being faced with new technologies that maybe they haven't encountered before. They haven't been introduced. And so we try to make sure that we introduce them to the technologies, to the new refrigerants, and just help things make sense. And one of the transitions that we're seeing a lot of now is in communicating equipment, not just communicating thermostats, but the entire residential system as a communicating network. And we're seeing a lot of changes in that. So from a manufacturer perspective, Ketan, what is a communicating thermostat and a communicating system?
Yeah, that's a good question, Clifton, to get us started here. So communicating thermostat is simply put, it's a way of digitally exchanging information between the equipment, rather than just sending on and off signals, right? That's what the traditional thermostats have done, is they would either call for heating or cooling for fixed stage products, right? So
switches.
Yeah, correct. And then what communicating thermostats or the system as a whole does is they're using proprietary or standardized protocols to just not only share the system status information, but other unit data as well, right? So that allows the system to modulate or work more precisely rather than just operating at the 100% load at all points of time, right? So it's a much smarter and much more responsive system to work with.
So it's really an evolution of the control because of the evolution of equipment. Is it because we're seeing so much more inverter, variable capacity systems and variable fan speeds that we now need a control that can help maintain and modulate those variations?
Yes, you're absolutely correct, Clifton. So yes, as we are seeing more of the variable speed compressors, the inverter products, as well as even on the indoor side, right? There's modulating furnaces, air handlers, right? And as well as within the residence or the application itself, right? There's intelligent zoning that's picking up, right? So all of this together does require a continuous feedback loop, right? With all of these individual pieces of equipment back to the thermostat, right? They're all talking to each other in a loop, right? So that's where you need to have like a real-time performance data being shared. Otherwise, the system doesn't work well or it doesn't work efficiently, right?
And not just for the educator and the contractor, but even for the consumer, there's some changes, some things that they may not be comfortable with. Because if someone is used to a traditional legacy thermostat, they're used to having the switches on the thermostat, or maybe touch screen and digital to be able to turn the system on and off. But there's some differences that the consumer will actually encounter as well with a communicating thermostat. Is that right?
I would put it in a way where, Clifton, that the communicating thermostat is not going to change much of the homeowner experience. It's actually going to make it even better than some of the traditional thermostats, right? Because
Sure.
The user interface or the UI for the homeowner on the thermostat itself, or even the app remains the same, right? But what they are going to get is more information about what their system is doing, more precise comfort, with the communicating thermostat, and also some more system alerts and triggers about maintenance, right? Because as we talked about earlier, the systems have become much smarter with variable speed or inverter products. So there's a lot of more hardware in these products that can help not only the homeowner but the contractor as well, right? To understand what the system is doing, and so that can be shown across all the different UI touch points, right? Thermostat, the app, or even for the contractor.
You'd even mentioned for like zoning, traditionally when we had a zone system, you would have had a primary thermostat, and then you would have had some secondary thermostats that were really just, controlling a damper, but based on the mode that the primary thermostat was in. So how is comfort being managed more efficiently with communicating thermostats in these modulating systems, especially ones that are using zones?
Yeah, so Clifton, in the communicating architecture, right, there are going to be again masters and subordinate thermostats, right, or secondary thermostats that are out there, but they are all going to be communicating back to a zone module, which is also going to be communicating back to the system itself, right? So again, it's a continuous loop where the dampers are also going to operate based on what the zone is calling for, right? So it's not going to be one temperature condition across the entire application or different living spaces, right?
Right.
It would vary and modulate and then be precise based on what the requirements are for that particular area or application, right? So even like if you have bonus spaces or your basement, right? Those all would be treated more efficiently in a communicating architecture versus just having a traditional on and off kind of thermostat or even dampers, right? So yeah.
Ketan, from an experienced technician perspective, and a contractor, I personally prefer using communicating thermostats because it changes the way we install, commission, and even service these new types of equipment. It adds a whole lot of characteristics that were not available in a legacy thermostat.
Yeah, so Clifton, you're right. So as you probably know, right, the new regulations that are coming in with CVP, for example, that's controls verification procedure.
Right.
That is a requirement for variable speed products, right? You're going to see a lot of communicating systems and architectures, right? You're correct that the communicating thermostats do help the contractors a whole lot more. Like, for example, once you set up the thermostat on the wall and it's all connected, it automatically configures, right? So it already knows what's the indoor, what the outdoor, what the matchup is, right? So there's no manual errors, right? So that's the first thing that gets reduced. The other thing that also it does is like if for troubleshooting after the initial startup, they can view fault codes, or they can even view what the performance data is, directly at the thermostat, right? So what that does is it eliminates them going back to the outdoor, to the indoor, to set up their gauges, and do a lot of that manual troubleshooting, which they would have done previously. All of that gets reduced, and their first time success rate improves, right, with the installation. That's what everybody needs, right? So yes, so there are going to be a lot of advantages to the communicating architecture as a whole, with the thermostats as well, right, over the traditional or the digital thermostats that most of the guys are used to today.
I'm an advocate for not installing a set of manifold gauges on a piece of equipment until we have to. And on installation, these communicating systems really change the game, because if we're doing the system properly, we're doing our pressure test, we're doing a proper evacuation, and then we are disconnecting our evacuation, we're removing our vacuum pump and hoses after we've brought a small amount of pressure into the system, we've disconnected our hoses, we've sealed the system back up. If we used a traditional manifold set in that process, we're going to lose some refrigerant every time because of those hoses. And if we think about how many split systems are installed in a year, Ketan, I mean, it's got to be between all the different manufacturers, 1 million, maybe, I don't know. But if we said around the world we install maybe 1 million systems a year, and every one of those installations have manifold gauges connected to them, and we're each losing an ounce or a couple, that's a few million ounces of refrigerant potentially that could be lost versus having a communicating system that already has pressure transducers and temperature thermistors, the same things that our digital manifold gauges we're using to read this stuff. I can install, fire this thing up, and then go inside on this communicating thermostat, and I can watch all those parameters in like real-time data.
Yep, that's correct, Clifton. And not only just the thermostat, right? The app also does support these features, right? So with the technician being able to see all of this data on their phones as well, right?
Oh,
so,
I can do it from outside or in my van or wherever.
So as long as the homeowner gives you permissions, right? Which they would, right? Because because you're a contractor working on their system, so they can allow you to get access to the system so that you can remotely view the temperatures, pressures, even some faults, right? So that even if the contractor is at their office, right, before they make a trip out to the job site, they know exactly what the system is doing, and if something is not working correct, they can even carry parts, right? So that leads to faster repairs, that's better or improved customer trust. And it also helps with the preventative maintenance, right? And makes it much better customer experience rather than just being like a reactive service, right? So those are some of the more advantages, right? Like not only when they're on site, but once they go off site or they're remote for the contractor.
Yeah, very important, from that service aspect, because when I was in the commercial refrigeration sector, all of my stores were interconnected. I could look at, 218 different stores that I had on the network, that each of them had a few thousand inputs and outputs, and I could watch every store in real time, every system on its own. So when we start incorporating that into the residential, it changes our business model. It changes the way we support our consumers. If we think about, I think back about when I was a residential technician. It's been almost 3 decades, I hate to admit, but it's been a while since I was a residential technician. 2 decades anyhow. But as a residential technician, oftentimes we would get a call from a consumer, one of our customers, that, oh, the system's not running right. And you'd get there and it's a dirty filter that, of course, we asked them about while we're on the phone and said, no, my husband just changed this. Husband didn't actually change it, right? And then you feel bad because you're on site and you wasted all this time driving and just to get there and go, well, I might as well do something while I'm here, versus that communicating system that could be logged in remotely from the office. You can have someone in the office pull it up and go, oh, yeah, I see where we've been getting some airflow errors and some low temperature differential on that indoor unit. Boy, it really looks like a dirty filter. I know that you said it's been recently changed. Would you mind walking over there? It's only going to take you a couple of minutes, and I can help walk you through the process if you need me to. And then they go, oh, look at that. My husband didn't change that filter after all. Oh, Mrs. Jones, have a great day. We appreciate your service. Now it's a 3-minute call versus a 1-hour call where we didn't provide a service to our homeowner. And it really changes the way we can look at productivity as a contractor.
Yeah, Clifton, I think to add to what you said, right, I think it also improves the trust with the customer, right? Because you were able to see that data, you were able to make the phone call, you were able to, just quickly help them over the phone. Their issue is resolved, so they know, it worked for them, they're going to call you back, right? So that generates incremental revenue for you in future, right? Or even that relationship just grows even stronger, right? And not only just, if there are issues, right? Even if they are experiencing something like, okay, I'm not feeling that it's being the right temperature or the right humidity is being maintained, right? And they think that there is a fault, right? So the contractor can still remotely see and say, okay, no, there is no fault. It's just it's going to either take time or whatever the resolution is, right? Because a lot of the times what we hear is there is or in our VOCs, right, that contractors do go to the job site and then there is actually no fault found, right? So there is nothing going on with the system as what they would have thought, right? Based on issues that they heard during the phone call or when the customer reported it, right? So it also helps in doing those scenarios as well, right? Which is just again going to save time for the contractor.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we're really we're moving into a completely connected home. Piece by piece, we're becoming very connected. We live in a connected world. I mean, everything that I do is connected in some way, right? The apps are communicating to each other. I can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and all of my new appliances have the ability to be interconnected. And sometimes that really has a benefit, even when we're talking about managing power. We have very much concerns about managing our energy use. And even if we're installing a very high efficiency system, there are times where it would be really nice to be able to be integrated with, energy management solutions for my entire area. And I think that's where communicating systems can actually come into play very significantly. Do you think?
Yeah, that's correct. Right. Yeah. So because the communicating systems, they can receive, the utility signals, right? Requesting maybe say temporary load reductions, right? So that
Right.
can that thermostat can then slightly adjust the set points or the system capacity without impacting significantly the comfort aspect, right? Because because the system understands the system capabilities, adjustments are more precise, right? And it's not disruptive. And then these communicating thermostats can also report the energy usage back to the utilities or the
Right.
energy aggregators, right? So that helps in participation in rebates, right, or incentives, or whatever. There are some time to use programs as well, right? So that all works well with the communicating thermostat, the high efficiency equipment, and also it all communicating back to the grid, right?
Yeah, I think back about programs that we've had in the past for this, for trying to manage energy loads and load shedding. And if we did that with a legacy system, single stage or two stage using a traditional legacy thermostat, your option was on or off when it was time to load shed. And with the communicating system and with our inverter capacity ranges and our modulating furnace ranges, we can just reduce the capacity, which can reduce that energy usage. And that's a huge thing. So do you see communicating thermostats and communicating systems being the new standard going forward?
I do see that the market is going to grow, Clifton. I think the adoption is also going to pick up just because of the high efficiency equipment becoming, growing as well, right, or within the market, as well as, the regulatory aspect is also something that we need to consider, as well as the demand response or utility programs that are out there as well, right? So those all will contribute to make, the communicating thermostats or even just communicating systems as a whole to be something that, we'll see a higher adoption in future. Along with the homeowner part, the contractor part also still, being key players, right? Homeowners want a completely, a smart home ecosystem, right? Is what essentially it becomes. And then there are benefits for the contractor as well, right? So I do see the adoption growing in the next few years here.
Fantastic. I know I'm a big fan of communicating systems. I love working with them. There's so much information that's available, and once you start getting comfortable with them as a contractor, it really it makes for an enjoyable service and installation experience.
Yep.
Well, Ketan, I sure appreciate you joining us today. Where can we learn more about the innovative solutions from Bosch Home Comfort?
Yeah, so Clifton, we do have a communicating thermostat and a communicating architecture. It's available on our websites today. So yes, do log on to our websites to find out some more information about our products.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Clifton. Thanks for having me.